A recent poll says 7 out of 10 voters support requiring a doctor's visit to receive abortion pills. The findings are from McLaughlin and Associates. That is 71% of U.S. voters approving of a measure requiring a doctor's visit for the chemical abortion drug to be prescribed. The study also found that 30% of voters had, quote, significant concerns about the safety of the abortion pill. This comes as the Food and Drug Administration recently approved a generic version of the leading abortion drug. For more, we turn to Kelsey Pritchard, Political Communications Director for Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America. Kelsey, great to have you back. First off, what is your biggest takeaway from the poll numbers, and did the findings surprise you?
It shows us that the requiring an in-person doctor visit to get abortion drugs is not only the right thing to do, it is the politically smart thing to do. And having this Biden rule that allows for the mail order of abortion should be put to an end. And that's what people want. And I think the great thing about this poll is that the people who participated weren't even majority pro-life. They were majority calling themselves pro-choice. And yet even they say that we need to end this Biden rule of mail order abortion. And at least we know these drugs are intended to kill the baby, but we need to protect our women and protect pro-life laws in the red states that don't want these drugs shipped in because they want to save babies.
Now, there are all sorts of studies about the dangers of taking abortion pills. What are some of those numbers?
Yeah, there are 2 studies that came out recently that show the same thing, that as many as 11% of women suffer serious effects like sepsis, hemorrhage, infection. And we also know from the Charlotte Lozier Institute that the vast majority of ER visits related to abortion drugs are miscoded. And that is because the abortion industry tells women, if you go to the ER, don't tell them that you took the abortion drug, tell them you're having a miscarriage, which then complicates how you help those women and can lead them to become more and more serious condition.
Now, the Biden administration allowed the mailing of abortion drugs without a doctor's prescription. Are you surprised the Trump administration has not changed this yet?
It's extremely disappointing because the Trump administration, the FDA, HHS, they could end this Biden rule today if they choose to. They can do it immediately. There should be no holdup for this. And, this is the Trump administration we're talking about. When do they follow bureaucracy and instead of doing the right thing? And so we hope that they will see common sense and see this poll and realize that the majority of Americans want them to end the Biden rule. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just the right thing to do. It's the politically smart thing to do. And they should do that today so that we can save more unborn children and that we can keep more women from the ER.
Now, the FDA under President Trump also recently approved a generic version of a widely used abortion drug. Tell us more about this and how pro-lifers are responding.
Yes, this is also extremely disappointing. The RFK and Secretary McCary, they have promised states and they've promised pro-life officials on Capitol Hill that they will study the safety of abortion drugs as it relates to the safety of women. And as they promised that, they quietly, as the government was shutting down, rolled out a new generic abortion drug that will be a cheaper version of what's already available and flood the markets and cause more unborn children to die, more women to go to the ER. And this is extremely concerning if they themselves have said that the parent drug is not safe for women and they have questions about that. They're studying the safety of that. Also, this generic drug sat unapproved by the Biden administration for 1,200 days. And yet the Trump administration went ahead and greenlit it not even a year into office. So this is extremely concerning. There's still time for the FDA to reverse course. And like I said, they need to immediately end this Biden rule that is unpopular and that is ending the lives of people in America and sending women to the hospital.
Now, Kelsey, we have just about a minute left. What are other pro-life stories you're following?
Well, we are going to be very involved in the midterms. We'll have an announcement coming up soon about our investment in the midterms so that we can retain pro-life majorities in the House and the Senate, and we'll be investing tens of millions of dollars into doing that next year. It's very important that the progress that we've seen in defunding Planned Parenthood and big abortion is not reversed. If the Democrats get majorities, it's going to be really hard, maybe impossible, to defund big abortion again next year and to stop Planned Parenthood from getting $500+ million in our Medicaid funding every year. We finally put an end to that, so we need to keep that progress going, and we need to also remind Republicans that you can't win without your pro-life base. And so I think this investment is a reminder to them, and hopefully a valuable step forward in retaining Republican majorities in Washington, D.C.
Well, Kelsey, as always, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you. God bless.